to the start of our tutorial series on how to 3D scan with the iScan scanners. We're going to go through how to scan 11 different objects in this series. Our goal is to improve your understanding on how to prepare for a scan, where to focus during a scan, and on the post-processing tools available afterwards. You can skip to a specific video or watch from the beginning. I'm sure there will be something that you can use in every video. First, we're going to start with scanning this white clay statue and this Terminator head printed in black ABS. The perfect first scan for beginners is a white, gray, or light colored object with a lot of surface area, like this sculpture or a similar clay model. We are going to be pairing this object with a black cloth, like this, which we'll be placing underneath the object so that we won't scan the table that we place the object on. And this will be really helpful when you're scanning it upright like this, and then if you want to switch down and start scanning on the side. The Terminator head in black plastic will help you get used to adjusting the brightness level for a darker colored object. This object is around the size of a small soccer ball, which is good practice for scanning somebody's face. Same as before, I have a contrasting white cloth, like this, which we're going to be using as the background, so that we don't capture the table. And if we're putting it on its side, this will make it easier to just focus on the object rather than the object and the table. When you receive the iScan Pro 2X or iScan Pro HD, we also provide you with a phone mount, like this, which you can use to attach to your scanner on the handle, and then attach your phone onto the slide. Now, I'm going to post a link to two sharing websites. One is AnyDesk and the other is Chrome Remote Viewer. If you download this on both your laptop and your phone, you'll be able to mirror your screen from your laptop, which has our software, onto the phone. So you can take a look at the software in front of you while you're scanning. And that's going to be pretty helpful for most people who are first starting out. So now let's go into the software and start the scan for this white sculpture.
There are three different modes: fixed scan, handheld HD scan, and handheld rapid scan. And we'll show the benefits of each one in this series. I want to use the handheld rapid scan for this sculpture because this is the easiest way to get a rough scan. When you click on this, it will ask you to create a folder to save the scan data in through New Project Group. Click on that and specify the folder that you want the scan data to be saved in. Mine is going to be demo, and that will open up the scan settings. We're going to do a non-texture scan, which means no color scan. Our mode of lining is based on the object's features. Operation mode is going to be classic and in medium detail. This is again the best setting to get a good scan of any model. If an object is decorated in features and has a lot of surface area, you can scan it in medium or high resolution. Otherwise, you're going to want to stick with low resolution. Now click Apply. Here we're in the scan preview page, and we have a lot of options to test. The first thing that I do at this point is to pick up the scanner and aim it at my model. Look on the upper left hand corner for the camera view of the scanner. You're going to want to keep an eye on the focus here when you are scanning. This flickering bar on the left is the distance bar, which shows blue when you're too far away, green when you're at the right distance, and red when you're too close. Now, since I'm scanning a white sculpture, I don't have to change the brightness setting at all. And I should be able to collect as much data as I can with just this setting. So if I find the right distance and it looks like my focus is good and there's a lot of data showing up in the preview, I should hit the Start Scan button, and then it will start collecting data. At this point, my goal is to make sure that my focus is always on the part that I want to scan, and that I'm keeping a good distance either at green or maybe a little blue to collect a lot of data. The scanner is aligning all of this based on features on the sculpture. It's really easy to scan white or light colored statues that have been sculpted because there are so many unique features for the scanner's alignment algorithm. If there are no features like a flat wall, or not a lot of features like a boomerang, you will need to find another way to scan these. We'll go through a few methods later on in this series. Right now, I'm also scanning parts of the table, and I want to get that out of my scan. So I'm going to place this model on top of the black cloth, which will hide it from the scan. For now, I'm going to finish up by moving around the sculpture and fill in shadows that formed and were included in the scan data. All of these holes underneath here are formed because the camera isn't able to see these areas. We'll have to find a better angle. We have a pretty solid sculpture scan now, but we're missing some of the data around the back here, and also scan bits of the floor. Let's go in to delete this data by using some of the tools listed here on the bottom. Shift left mouse will bring up the lasso select tool and let us toss these bits away. It's all about positioning with the pan and rotate and using the lasso tool when you want to remove data. I scanned the sculpture while I was standing up on the table, and it's appearing like that in our software. But now I'm going to turn the statue over like this, so that I can get a better angle on these areas. Before I do that, I am putting the black cloth on the table as a background for the statue, so that it won't appear in the scan. If you take a look at the camera view, you can see the white sculpture, but the background where the table was is very dark, and the cameras won't be able to collect any measurements from these areas. We wanted to focus on the sculpture and to fill in any holes in that data. Here I can find the bottom and go in and try to fill this area in. And then I can go to the side to fill in any of the remaining holes. Now we can generate the point clouds and mesh the file. But first, let's scan something else. The data here is already automatically saved in the project folder, so we can just exit out of this and start a new scan. We're going to move on to the Terminator head that we printed in black ABS. I'm going to click on Rapid Scan and create a folder to hold our scan data in, which I'll call Demo Number 2. I'm selecting the same settings: non-texture scan, features, classic, and medium resolution. At the beginning of the scan, when you start the preview, make sure that the object is well exposed in the camera view in the upper left-hand corner, and try to toggle it, both the brightness and the distance, so that there is a lot of green data. It's not here because the object is black, so we'll click the scan button twice, which will let us use the plus and minus button on the scanner to raise the brightness. Once we're at this stage and we have a good distance, we can toggle the brightness to see if we're going to collect more data. And the rule of thumb for this is to have a few red areas in the camera view. I think if it appears redder for a darker colored object, you can scan more data because you want some areas to be overexposed and the rest to be properly exposed. Once you get a good amount of green data flowing, start the scan. It's going pretty well with this exposure, as I can scan most of this head and also parts of the table. I'm going to focus on collecting as much data as I can for a full model. I can use a white cloth as the background if I didn't want to scan the table as well. The contrasting setup of a white background and black object is great because the brightness setting now will overexpose a white surface, making it invisible to the cameras. We can also use the selection tools to delete the table. But I want to scan this again while it's on its side, and I don't want to scan the table again. If you start the preview now and look at the camera view, you will see that the background is all red, so the scanner won't pick up any measurements from the table. I can put the focus on filling in any missing details on my model. I'm going to turn the head around on its side so I can fill in more area. I also want to scan the bottom after laying it down like this. Unfortunately, we can see that the back of this object is white as well, so if we want to scan this part, we will first have to bring down the brightness so the white background is properly exposed. At this point, the table also becomes visible, which we can use to our advantage as it adds additional features for alignment to scan the rest of the object. Okay, we have pretty much everything scanned, so let's pause and remove the table. That's it. We successfully scanned a dark object by adjusting the brightness level. In the next video, we're going to talk about how we can use the white and black cloth to add features to objects that have trouble with tracking. Please watch the next video. Thanks for watching.